Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to a Kneejerk stream for Game Week 6. Game Week 5 hasn't quite finished yet. We still got 2 more games to go. One of them, who cares? I think it's West Brom versus Burnley. Not sure many people are going to be worried about that game. I guess there's a few Chris Wood owners out there. And then Leeds versus Wolves. There's going to be a lot of Wolves players in people's teams. Obviously, Jimenez, Pedence, maybe a defender as well, like Seiss. And obviously a few people like myself have got Leeds Defenders. Anyway, how is it going? For anyone that didn't watch on Saturday morning, I hit my wildcard button at 10:56 a.m. 4 minutes before the deadline. Some people said that was a panic. I mean, I've had this team in my head pretty much for a couple of weeks, but basically all over the international break. So I already knew the team. It was already up on the screen, but actually hitting the button was a bit different. So that's done now. I don't have it. Used it in Game Week 5. I'll have to just get through the double game weeks and the blank game weeks in Game Week 18-19 without it. Hopefully it won't be too bad, but we'll have to wait and see. And it's gone pretty well, to be honest. Let's see what scores are in. 76 with Seiss to play, 83 with Seiss to play. I mean, the only kind of slight worry was changing Seiss to Reguilon for me. I really thought I was going to get away with like an 11 or 12 pointer with him. For 3 goals to be scored after the 82nd minute, absolute nightmare. And I was like, because I thought it was just locked in, I started making dinner, and the goals just kept going in. Absolute nightmare. 69 all out, nice. 98 points, Kane captain with Son and Barkley. Yeah, Shane Grealish didn't get anything, but new boy Martin is straight in. Took Werner out, got Kane in, yeah. Anyone that took Werner out for Kane must have been absolutely hating it yesterday. I guess obviously Kane costs a little bit more money, but to be honest, I didn't really see much of the Chelsea. I didn't see any of the Chelsea games, to be honest. I just watched a couple of highlights. I don't know whether Werner could have had more points, but Kane hit the post. He also played Bale in. Now he didn't really get Bale into the scoring position, but Bale got himself there. I don't know how he missed. That should have been another assist. Kane could have had a couple more returns. Absolutely ridiculous. Crazy game. Great finish by Lanzini to finish it off. Seb 79 with Seiss and Jimenez, very nice. I'm really hoping for not a 0-0. I'm hoping for a Leeds 1-0 win tomorrow, but we'll have to see. Any changes in hindsight with the wildcard? Yeah, I'll bring it up in a minute and talk about it a little bit more. I don't actually think there is, though. Reguilon, who knows? This was probably Spurs' hardest game in the next 4, including this one. So hopefully defensively Reguilon might be alright. It was a great ball to Kane. 71 minus 16. That's a big hit. Lucky you used it. Your previous team only got 29 points. Is that right? No, that can't be right. Was my previous team that bad? So I'd have had McCarthy got nothing. Luka Dean got 7, but I was going to bench Luka Dean for Ayling. Seiss nothing. Salah captain. De Bruyne, Foden got an assist. Rodriguez got an assist. Nah, my previous team wouldn't have got 29. My previous team would have done okay. But new team's done decent enough as well. For the first time, Andy wants Leeds to win. Leeds could win that game. We'll see. We'll see. I've probably written off Wolves by getting them all out of my wildcard a little bit too early. Some pretty big scores kicking about. Let me bring my team up. Let me get it. How do I do this? Forgotten. Boom. Come on, every time. Hit that subscribe button. Why not? Mopay, probably the most frustrating out of all the picks I've got, right? Okay, Trent Alexander-Arnold conceding's annoying, but at least I got points from Rodriguez and Calvert-Lewin again. Calvert-Lewin just hasn't blanked once yet this season. Mopay, the most frustrating. I actually spent time watching Crystal Palace versus Brighton. That is like 90 minutes of my life I'll never get back. It was dreadful. Like, Crystal Palace didn't deserve anything from that game. One shot, and that was the penalty. Which, by the way, was not a penalty. I know you can't have your hands on players, but Batshuayi, it's like he'd been shot. So that was awful. And Morpay, like, I don't know if anyone's seen it, I tweeted out earlier, the position he got himself into, he could have taken a shot either side of the keeper, it would have almost certainly gone in, and he just cuts inside, then cuts back, and by that time the defenders got back. There was absolutely no reason for that to happen. The cheek can only say, who cares about Burnley West Brom? McNeil's on the Hall of Fame. That's old news now, you know? Trossard was frustrating. The whole Brighton team, Lamptey was okay. But obviously didn't get anything because they conceded and he gave away the penalty. But yeah, surprised you didn't get Chilwell. The reason I didn't get Chilwell, which is maybe a bit too short-term thinking, is because I knew Kepa was going to play against Southampton, and look what happened. But yeah, going forward, the thing, Reguilon was just kind of in my head. We talked about him on Breakfast Club, and he was just kind of there. The main reasons for the next 4 fixtures, to be fair, I could have probably just gone for Semedo for the same reason, right? Wolves' next 4 are pretty good. But Reguilon just seemed like a nice little punt. The only thing is, I said pre-season Spurs' defence was, it was okay. It's certainly not like a traditional Jose Mourinho team. Like, it's nowhere near. So that is a little bit of a worry. And to be honest, the way they came out in the second half, like West Ham were pretty good for most of the game. Like the 3-0 probably flattered them a little bit. Like they were obviously really good for the first 20, but West Ham weren't that bad. And in the second half, it's almost like, I wouldn't say Spurs didn't care, but maybe they were just a bit lax in concentration. You and the YouTube community move the same watchers, same captaincy picks. Yeah, I mean, maybe we do, but I don't really. It's not like I go and watch them and choose the same. When I subscribed, you were so different. But that you're implying that I'm going to watch other channels and choosing what they say. I can tell you now, I don't watch anything. Pretty much. Chilwell is more about attacking points. Yeah, they will get defensive returns. I do think longer term, Chilwell is probably the better option, but Spurs defence okay. When has that been the case under Jose? It literally hasn't. That's what I just said. It's not okay. So that was probably the one mistake. Stripped Son of captaincy. I kind of said Son would have been my. I mean, to be fair, 11 points is still decent, but I would have captained Son if I hadn't brought Kane in. But I said all along, if I brought Kane in, I was going to captain him. So well happy with that. Almost as good as a hat-trick, right? Almost as good as a hat-trick. Just 1 point off. I've had no captaincy blanks. 0 captaincy blanks so far this season. Now, they've not all been big scores, but I've still had none. Next week, definitely Salah captain. Yeah, 81 is including the bonus points. So, got 6 points to come in for Kane. Strategy to get City players in a few game weeks. I'm just going to wait. I think, if I bring up my team for next week, this is going to be the first week, hopefully, this is going to be the first week this season. What's my live rank? It's on the screen. You're so jammy. It's funny how when I get it wrong, it's because I'm rubbish, and when I do it well, I'm jammy. What percentage of the wildcard? Basically, 8-point hit, plus a bunch of other players that I wanted to bring in. Look, maybe in a few weeks that'll change. I need another wildcard, but what was I answering before? Oh yeah, Man City. The plan now is just to go without, right? Aguero's back, which is good. Obviously, I've got Kane to Aguero now as possible. I think my long-term move to get a Man City player is probably Kane and Grealish to Antonio plus a Man City midfielder if I don't want Aguero. But right now, I'm just not worrying about it. I'm just not worrying about how I get them in. I'll worry about it when I need them. Because next 2 weeks, captain is Salah. In game week 8, it'll be Antonio or Kane or Son. Surely Kane captain, go for the form. Nah, the plan all along was to captain Salah. So Salah's in form as well, right? So I don't think Antonio is injured. I know he went off with a knock, but I think he's one of those where he's going to be okay. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not worried about Antonio right now anyway, because next 2 fixtures are dodgy, right? So yeah, anyway, I was going back. Hopefully this week will be the first week this season where I don't make a transfer. Obviously, there's a few. I think there's European games this week, so that's something to consider. But yeah, hopefully I don't need a transfer. I'm looking at that team. Obviously, I didn't just pick it for 1 week, So hopefully it'll be okay. And then I'll go into next week with 2 free transfers. I won't necessarily need to use one, but I'll just have to wait and see. But I want to get to a point where I've got 2 free transfers. Yes, at some point I probably want a Man City midfielder. Game week 10 maybe, game week 11, who knows? Maybe it'll be more pay to Che Adams. Who knows? Who knows? Or Ollie Watkins. Mitchell was lucky today, I think. I think he should have been sent off. Sice to play a blinder. He might do. I mean, the fact that Reguilon got an assist, I'm not too mad about Sice. I mean, if he gets a goal, free bonus and a clean sheet, yeah, that'd be frustrating. But it is what it is, right? How long am I planning to keep the Everton double up? Forever, maybe? I don't know. What's the reason to get rid of him, I guess? I think with players like that, there's no need to kind of look about when you might get rid of them. I mean, like if you look at the fixtures, I suppose, like game week 8 is Man United, Fulham, Leeds, Burnley is probably okay. This is when it gets a little bit trickier here. Could I maybe look at getting rid of them? Possibly, but to be honest, like Calvert-Lewin in particular, I just don't see me getting rid of because I got him for 7 million. Let's just see, I guess, at the time. Like it's over Christmas as well. I'd imagine Calvert-Lewin will keep playing. Maybe James Rodriguez could go, but right now, 0 plans to get rid of him. Bruno must have been you're thinking, no, not at all. Got 0 plans to look at even bringing Bruno Fernandes in, to be honest. Jorginho is a freaking steal for 5.1. I know, another attacker return. Maybe I've overlooked him. The thing with players like Jorginho, it's the same. I was thinking about it with Souček today, right? They're good enablers, but who wants to be playing Souček every week when you can get proper players, right? There's so much money to be had by reducing money in your defence to then spend an attack. I don't know about players like Souček and Jorginho. Best wildcard presentation I've ever seen. The suspense was killing me. I know, I think, and again, people always think I do it for the suspense, but I was literally just thinking about that. I was like, should I do it? And then I was obviously counting how many players I was going to change. I think the one thing that clicked, for me, one of the reasons I hit it is because I was telling myself I was wildcarding just for Kane, but that wasn't actually true. Like I was getting Son in, I was getting more pay in, I was getting Reguilon in, I was getting Son in, I was getting rid of De Bruyne who was injured, I was getting rid of Shaw Shaw scored a goal, didn't he? So there was a lot of things I was changing. It wasn't just to get Kane because I was kind of already telling myself the -8 was done. But the chat, I guess sod this chat. I'm not going to put it up on the screen anymore. I'm going to think of something else to put on this right hand side. I think because the fact the chat keeps freezing does my head in. Thing is, it's not even. Yeah, I don't know. It's gone now. It's not coming back. I think Black Box influenced the wildcard. Yeah, honestly, didn't. I think. I mean, people don't seem to want to believe me, but I've been thinking about all international break. I wasn't going to hit it, and then as soon as De Bruyne got injured, it was like, well, I might have to now. Because I even said on Black Box, like I know the team. I'd have Kane. I knew my team in my head. It was just decided. One thing that helped as well is when I didn't wildcard on Friday and I went into Saturday, the only players that rose were Rodriguez and Son. I had them both in my team. I think if Kane and that had gone up, I'd have been like, maybe I've missed the boat now. You could put the results on the right. Yeah, I'll have a think. Put Club Biscuits on the right. What do I think about Werner? I think that what a high line for Southampton. I mean, the irony is the next game for Werner is probably quite good as well. I don't know if I want to rush out to buy him. Like, it was a pretty good fixture. It was the same thing for Son and Kane, right? It was a pretty good fixture. I know everyone was saying that. I mean, it's a bit different because everyone was saying West Ham are good defensively and they weren't saying that about Southampton. But, I mean, Chelsea just had a good fixture and they've done well in it. So, Werner's a good option. But, I mean, for a lot of people, where's he going to fit in? Especially if you've got Harry Kane. It's hard to get both. You'd have to start getting rid of midfielders like Salah, Son, etc. So, if you've got Werner, great. There's no reason to get rid of him right now off the back of a couple of goals, probably. The Man United fixture could be good. But at the same time, bit of confidence after that Newcastle game. Could we turn it around now? Chelsea were probably... Well, I think we beat Chelsea twice in the league last year, but we were a bit lucky to do that, I think, especially that first game. But then the fixtures after that, Burnley, Sheffield United, Newcastle away, they're okay. I think if you've got Werner, great. If you haven't, I'd probably be looking to Kane if you can afford him instead, just because the fixtures are better. Suraj, how's it going? Got Saiss, Luka Dean, Mitchell, Dunn, and James in defence. Who would you transfer in for Reece? Got Martinez in goal. Got Saiss, Luka Dean. It depends how much money you want to save. Like you could just go to like a Chilwell or someone if you got the money. Otherwise, I would just get someone like Lamptey or Dallas or Ayling. Maybe wait till tomorrow and have a look at the Leeds team. Someone like that and save a bit of money. Thomas, Zaha, Grealish, Barkley or Trossard. The fact that Zaha is on penalties probably should come into our thinking a bit. And the fixtures are so good. I personally just can't bring myself to get him. But I mean, they played Brighton today, had one shot, and that was the penalty. Right? It's just filthy. Like, I don't want to be watching Crystal Palace. I haven't seen the Aston Villa game because obviously it finished just as I came on here, and it was on bloody pay-per-view, so I wasn't paying 15 quid to watch that. So Grealish Barkley's probably still quite close. Obviously Barkley did get his goal though. I don't know how much more advanced he was. I still think I prefer Grealish out of those right now, but I'd have to see the highlights for Barkley and Zaha. Like, if you want to go for Zaha, go for it. He's just not really my cup of tea. This may be a dumb question, but when you wildcard, are you paying the new price for a player that you've had before the price rise? No. He's still 7 million. If you wildcard and you remove him and then you get him back, then you pay the extra. If you never remove him, job done. This looks like a 100+ game week team. Nah, I don't know. It depends. If Brighton can get a win to 0 and more pays on the score sheet, then potentially, but it'll be tricky. Grealish was on fire but didn't want to shoot for some reason. Grealish looked the better bet. Barkley was absent most of the game. Grealish was a good option. High involvement, but he was greedy tonight. There you go. So most people saying Grealish. Having more paying Grealish or Barkley. Have more paying Grealish. Barkley versus Trossard. I'd probably go for Barkley. I think I'd rather double on. I think Villa just looking better right now. I'd rather double on Villa than Brighton attack. Put the question you're answering at the time on the right. Nah, it's too difficult to do that. I'd have to type it all out every time, you know. I mean, not that that's difficult. It's just the point of this is just to answer questions quick, right? Someone asked me about Trent versus Robertson earlier. I forgot who it was. Sorry. It's very hard to look past Robertson right now. I kind of said either last week or the week before, you can just see. You can just see that Robertson's getting further forward this year. And I said to myself earlier, is that actually a case or are my eyes playing tricks on me? It looks like he's further forward more often. So I looked on Fantasy Football Scout and his penalty area touches have doubled and his amount of touches in the final third have also gone up from something like 33 to 44 or something like that per on average per game. So he's definitely getting further forward. I don't think Trent's necessarily a bad option. And this is before we get into the Van Dijk discussion. I don't think Trent is suddenly a bad option, but would I change? I mean, if I was wildcarding this week, maybe I would. Maybe I should have done it last week as well. But I just don't think we've seen enough to suddenly say that Trent is a much worse option. But obviously he is more money, and it's probably not as much of a what's the word? Last year it would have been a proper worry to not have Trent. Maybe it's a little bit less now. In general, though, Van Dijk's going to be out for months and months, and no Alisson. The fixtures are still very good, though. Sheffield United at home, West Ham at home. So you could potentially look to even bring one in if you wanted to. But I put it this way: I've already thought about what I can do with the Trent money. Let's just say that. Certainly not rushing to do it this week with Sheffield United at home. They just cannot score to save their life. Maybe Brewster will get a goal, potentially. But, at some point, I think Alexander-Arnold down to... maybe Luka Dean. Maybe I'll go back, tail between my legs. Chilwell, back to a Wolves defender, back to Harry Maguire. Who knows? But at some point, I might downgrade Trent, basically. But I think I really want to get to 2 free transfers and then worry about stuff like that. Like, there's no need for me to downgrade Trent until I need the money. Otherwise, he just stays there, you know. And who I want to, like, I don't want to get rid of any of my forwards yet. Morpay's probably the one, because after West Brom it's Spurs, and then it's Burnley at home, Villa away. I mean, it's not too bad at fixtures. I don't have to get rid of him, but he's probably one where, I don't know, I could take him or leave him. Let's see how he does over the next couple of games. We'll just cash in on Trent. Yeah, but he's not. He's not. You know, you don't have to rush out to sell Trent Alexander-Arnold. You know. I honestly don't get comments like this. Be ahead of the curve. Ship Trent now. Ship him for who? Right? He's playing Sheffield United at home. I mean, being ahead of the curve on a defender, probably unlikely. You know, probably going to get you enough points. I keep seeing that question. Is this your full-time job? This isn't. This channel isn't, but FPL is. Yeah. Van Dijk out, so they won't be scoring many assists from corners. I haven't actually looked. I haven't actually looked at it, but I do wonder how many of Van Dijk's goals. Sorry, how many of Trent's assists came from Van Dijk on corners? How many goals did he score last year? Let's have a look at that. Van Dijk. Where are you? He scored 5 goals last year. I wonder if they were all Trent assists. Quite possibly. You cheated this game. Interesting. I don't know how. I don't know how you cheat. I did captain Kane. This is this week's. Boom. Matip is very good from corners. Yeah, but it's not. He's not Van Dijk, is he? Do a wildcard draft this week? I might do. I'm not going to do wildcard drafts every week of the season. But if I see enough people wildcarding, I might. How is FPL your full-time job at this channel? Isn't? Because I do stuff for Scout. My overall rank is on the screen. Worth bringing in a Liverpool defender for a hit? Absolutely not. Alisson will be back by the end of the month. Klopp confirmed. So there's another international break, isn't there? Between game weeks 8 and 9. So let's have a look, right? Let's have a quick look at Liverpool defenders. So let's go to Trent. So between 8 and 9 is the international break. So let's say potentially Alisson is back. Potentially back for Man City. If not, should be back for Leicester, right? There's only, between now and November 21st, there's only 3 games. So Alisson's probably going to miss 3. Man City away, I wouldn't be expecting points anyway. If I wanted to keep Trent, I would see that as a write-off. So then he's got Sheffield United, West Ham, Leicester at home, Brighton away, Wolves at home, Fulham away. They're still pretty good fixtures. Don't get me wrong, Van Dijk is a huge miss. But for me, that doesn't scream, I'm going to do everything I can to get rid of Trent Alexander-Arnold. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not sitting here saying you must keep him. If you're on a wild card, you have to keep him. If I was on a wild card now, I would. I think, again, sometimes I say this and it backfires, but if you're ever going to try and go with that Liverpool defenders, without Alisson, without Van Dijk, this is probably the time. But I don't know, for a lot of people, I'd imagine they're not necessarily priority transfers, you know? After the Che Adams goal, you prepared for a slice bullet header. Yeah, to be fair, like the wild card has gone well, but I have removed some pretty good players. Che Adams was one. Luca Dean, but to be fair, I was going to bench Luca Dean, if you remember. So I probably would have benched him, and I would have played Ayling ahead of him. So I wouldn't have got the 7 points. Che Adams. The thing is, if I hadn't wildcarded, I was going to ship Che Adams anyway. So I don't feel that bad about it. Like I wouldn't have kept him. But the thing is, he is a good option, isn't he? He's just shown he is a good option. He's up to like 2.74 expected goals now. He still only has 1. He's getting chances. So he's got 3 returns in 5 games. He's averaging just over 4 points a game, 5.8 million. I wouldn't write me off bringing him back at some point, but I'm not in a rush to do it, obviously. But I did have Ayling. If I didn't wildcard, I had Ayling. And I would have played him ahead of Luke Dean, basically. Is Kane now a must? Yeah, I mean, Spurs players in general, are they a must? It's getting hard. I'm not essential, no. Let's not say they're a must or essential, but it's getting close it's a very difficult time to go without them now. The next 3 fixtures are great as well. The problem for people that don't want to get them, which is fine, is the longer you leave it. Like, if you leave it this week and they score again, like they get maybe double figure hauls each, like 10 points plus, then you're going to really want them. But then it's only 2 good fixtures left, and at some point you're going to feel like you have to get them. And then if it's close to kind of game week 6, 7, 8, 9. Then it's a tricky run of fixtures, right? That's why I want 2 free transfers, and I want to start rolling them, because in game week 9 they play City, Chelsea, Arsenal, and have Liverpool in a 5, and Leicester and Wolves, like in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In a 7 game week spell, they play Wolves, Leicester, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City. I mean, that is awful. I wouldn't want to be tripled up on Spurs necessarily then. So if you're going to get them, now is the time. Who should I replace De Bruyne with, Bruno or Son? I would still go Son. Like, I know Man United scored a good few goals, but it was a lot of them were at the death. Like, I didn't even realise it was on TV till the 79th minute, because I didn't realise we could get it for free in Ireland. And I think I saw 3 goals in that time. Like, right at the death. It's Chelsea, Arsenal, Everton next for Man United. I just wouldn't be going near them right now. Let's see how they do, and then maybe game week 9, West Brom, Southampton away, West Ham away. That's when I'd be looking at Man United. So 100% I would go Son over Bruno. Just want to say your videos and streams really brighten up my day and night. Thank you for saying so. I'm glad you enjoy them. Son is good against big teams. Look, I'm not saying they can't score against those teams, but let's be honest, one of the reasons to get Spurs players in now is the fixture run. So at the same time, if they have a bad fixture run, you've got to look at maybe getting rid. How'd you get it for free? How'd you get what for free? Why Mitchell over Ferguson? Long term, Ferguson is better. The thing is, at this point, I just don't care about Ferguson. Do you know what I mean? He might be good. He might play at some point. He might get straight into the team when. Like, if he's that much of a good thing, I'll just buy him, right? So yeah, you could go the Ferguson instead of Mitchell route if you're wildcarding, but Mitchell's still playing. Van Arnold was on the bench today. I'm sure he'll start the next game. Mitchell will be benched, but you just don't know. Chilwell getting balls from Ziyech. You smell big points. I think in general, after the Man United game, I'm definitely going to be looking at Chelsea. How am I going to move to Man City players? I think Kane, I've said this before, I think Kane and Grealish to Antonio and Man City midfielder is probably one of the easiest routes, or just Kane to Aguero. I mean, a bit like Kane, right? Kane's the cheapest he has been for a while. So is Aguero. Also, Pepper said that Jesus is out for a while. I think he said months. So suddenly, if he's out for months, it makes Aguero a huge option. So again, to be fair, something that Late Riser pointed out to me on Breakfast Club, which I kind of overlooked, is that I was saying that I wanted Salah captain because he's playing Sheffield United and West Ham at home. Man City are actually playing both the same 2 teams in the next 2, but they're playing them both away. Then it's Liverpool, then it's Spurs. So I feel like I can go for the next 4 games without Man City and get by okay. Like, people will say, well, you don't have Sterling. I know, but I've got Salah and Son, and not an easy way to get Sterling without dumping Kane. I don't want to dump Kane. So I'm looking, like, if Aguero is still fit and Jesus is still out for a while, and it could be different by the time this comes around, because game week 10 is the 28th of November, but then he's got Burnley, Fulham and West Brom at home with 4 fixtures. I'd seriously be looking at Kane to Aguero at that point. I think you just have to say you cannot have them all, right? And I don't know, maybe it's a cliche, because I remember saying the same thing last year. Last year felt like, because of the way they've done the prices, it really felt last year you couldn't have everyone. I think this year even more so, right? Not looking at Man United players, not looking at Man City players right now. Don't have any Chelsea players. There's a lot of teams that don't have any players for. It's just the way it is right now. The funny thing is, if I'd wildcard at this, what I lost by wildcarding when I did was I lost 0.2 million. Martinez went up and Kane went up. I think that's all I missed out on by wildcarding when I did. And if I hadn't missed that 0.2 rise, I could have kept Sice and got Pulisic instead of Grealish. Maybe that's my way into Chelsea. At some point, he's looking at that. But I'd love Chelsea players, but I just there's no way to get them in right now for me. Let's have a look. Dan, get rid of Barnes. Yeah, I think Leicester fixture's not good. I'm not keen on Leicester players now. I know some people put Castagna on their wildcard this week. Not for me. Maybe he'll beat out Reguilon, but not convinced. Matt Cash, Villa defense opinion. I like him. I don't know what the stats are from today's game, but I know. See you later, Super Tiger. I know he created 4 chances, had 2 shots in the box before this week in 3 games, which was pretty nice. But he's also 5 million. That just puts me off a little bit. There's cheaper ways into that Villa defence. But if you think you can get some attacking returns along the way, it could be a good option. I mean, if you haven't sold De Bruyne, you could just wait for this week's press conferences. And if he's fit, just keep him. I mean, it is West Ham away. You don't think Pulisic looked that good? Yeah, it's fair enough. People have said that, but at some point he's going to look good. Zaha plays as a striker. Come on, you. How are you not looking at him? I just don't want him. Just don't want him. Did you watch the game today? Just did nothing apart from score a penalty. Fair enough. Fair enough. He scored the penalty. He's on penalties. That's good. But yeah. Feels like Chelsea is needed somewhere regardless of fixtures. But who do I get? I mean, if I want Werner, I get rid of Kane. No way that's happening. If I want Pulisic, I need to get rid of Son. No way that's happening. Or it's get rid of Rodriguez. And I'd have to downgrade. How much? Hang on. I'd need Rodriguez to go up another 0.2 million, or I'd have to get rid of someone else. Maybe Trent at some point will go. Like Trent out and Grealish out lets me get Pulisic, for example. Maybe I get Pulisic and Chilwell, but it's just I'm in no rush to do it, honestly. Just in absolutely no rush. I want to see a few more games from Chilwell. I've got 4 home games in the next 4. 3 home games, sorry, in the next 4. Like, it's just, yeah, I can't. I think the one thing I need to do now, and it's very easy to do this when you've had a good week versus when you haven't. I need to be more patient going forward now. I can't keep taking early hits all the time. And I've got to be a bit more patient with players as well. And it is very easy to say that when you've had a good week and your team looks good for the following week as well. But I have to now. I don't have another wild card, so I've got to be more conscious of what I'm doing. So, like I said, no rush to get United, City, or Chelsea right now. I'd like them, but it is what it is. When Trent starts getting returns, yeah, maybe. I'm not banking on that money 100%, but it could happen if Van Dijk's out. Let's see how they are without Van Dijk first. Can only imagine the damage James Rodriguez could do to Southampton's high line. Maybe a sneaky captain option. Yeah, maybe, but the one thing I'm not doing with captains is trying to think outside the box. For me, Salah and Kane are just obvious captains this week. There's just no way I'm going outside of them. You need to be more patient. Yeah, I get it. That's good. There's no way I'm getting rid of Morpay for West Brom at home. Is home and away really important without fans anymore? I don't know if we've had enough games to really know, but potentially not. But I still think about it. It's hard to not think about that, What about Gareth Bale? I thought he looked a bit rusty, to be completely honest. He did get into that position for that really bad miss nicely, to be fair. But overall, I thought he looked a little bit rusty. But it's his first game for a while, isn't it? So let's see. I mean, right now, there's just no reason not to go for Son instead. Someone told me to get more pay instead of Bamford. Who was that? It'd be funny if Bamford scores tomorrow. Am I doing CM FPL? Probably not. I just don't think I'll be able to keep up. I mean, if there's 200 grand riding on fan team. For the last 2 weeks, I've forgotten to make transfers. If you want, this is lucky, right? Forget FPL. Last week, I forgot to make my transfers in fan team, so I kept Grealish, and he scored 24 points or whatever versus Liverpool. And then this week I was going to get rid of either Havertz or Werner or Che Adams. I was probably just going to do Che Adams to more pay, actually. I just didn't make any transfers again, so I've burnt a transfer, and I've scored and Havertz has scored well. Werner's scored well. I had Salah captain. Che Adams scored for me as well. Just do nothing. That's what I'm learning from fan team. Bale was blowing hard after that run. Yeah, I'm not even convinced he'll necessarily start the next game. To be honest, I think it's risky getting him. Son's just doing so good. Am I braving it with no Man City tech? Yeah, for now. For now. Here's what I would say for anyone that's in the chat, kind of saying, you need Man City, you need Chelsea. Tell me who I'm getting rid of to get them. I have 0.5 in the bank. See you later, Fozzie. Opinion on West Ham players. 3 goals, nothing for Antonio. I don't think Bowen got anything either. Look, every man and their dog is getting West Ham players in game week 8, right? I think it's City and Liverpool next. You just leave them for now. Your top 6,000, first time in the top 10k. Very nicely done. This is why I don't play anything other than FPL. I know I'd forget them. Yeah, I know. It's hard to keep up, to be honest. FPL is just always on the mind. I'm always seeing it on Twitter and on my timeline and stuff. So it's virtually impossible to forget. Reguilon played well. Unfortunate for the clean sheet. Yeah, it was interesting how much, especially in the first half, how much of the kind of fullback output came from the left side, not the right side with Aurier. Which was interesting. It wasn't necessarily quite the same in the second half, but the first half definitely. The cross for Kane's goal was brilliant. As soon as he had it, I was just like, get it in for Kane, get it in for Kane. And it's just one of those where as soon as you see the cross, you just think this is going to be a goal. It's going to be an absolute peach. It really reminded me of a Ben Davies cross. Similar situation, get into Kane, bam, on the head. Trent on track to drop this tonight. Yeah, I think he's been on to drop the last couple of nights, so it probably will happen at some point. Jimenez could drop, yeah. I haven't actually checked, but if it sounds like he might, 80% plus, it could do. Mitrovic was woeful today. It sounded like Mitrovic. I didn't watch that game either. It sounded like Mitrovic could have had a few more points, and he obviously missed the penalty. If he puts that penalty in, you're probably not thinking of getting rid of him. And it depends who you want to go for. Maybe you need to see another game out of Ollie Watkins, etc. Again, I don't know if Mitrovic is a must-sell. Their fixtures are quite nice, aren't they? Let me just remind myself. I must admit, I haven't looked at Fulham too much. For obvious reasons. Crystal Palace at home, West Brom at home. You could probably keep him the next 2. I think Lookman's coming now. I think he'll do good for them. Or do well for them. Yeah, so just to keep making this point, 81 points includes the bonus points that I don't yet have, but they will come in. So yes, I only have 71 points right now, but that will be 81. Shane Martinez couldn't get another save. He's only 1 bonus point behind Barkley. I'll take a 9-pointer. It would have been nice to get the 10. What's your squad value? 100. I got 101.2 squad value and 0.5 in the bank, so 101.7 altogether. But I have made loads of moves to protect team value, right? You know that. So, okay, I'm not answering any more things about the points. If you go to live FPL rank, you can check how many points you're on. Okay, let's see if we got anything we haven't already discussed. If you use your wildcard, can you change the team as much as you like before the deadline? Yep. Why did you captain Kane over Son? We'll consider captain again next week, even with Bale coming into the mix. I'm not going to captain next week because I just got Salah, and he was always going to be my captain. But yeah, if Thingy's not back for Burnley, then maybe the shrewd choice is going for Spurs players again. But I'm going to go Salah, I think. I went for Kane over Son because his stats were just better, basically. I know like people saying like the eye test for Son, but Kane's had double the amount of shots in the box before this week. I haven't looked at the stats. I've just obviously watched the game for now, but I'll have a look at them. From what I can remember, I don't really recall either of them having a huge amount of shots in the box this week. The one that Kane hit the post with was from outside the box with his left foot. If you captain Kane with a 3 bonus, be doubled, yeah. And Kane has penalties. The thing is, Kane versus Son is much more different to Salah versus Mane. Because Salah versus Mane, both mids, Salah's got penalties, job done. Kane versus Son, one's got the extra point for the goal and clean sheet. The other one has penalties. And obviously, more bonus points for every goal they score as well with Kane. So it's just the underlying numbers look good for Kane. Interestingly, he's got more assists than goals, but his underlying stats say that he's doing better for goal threat than assists. Rafinha for Leeds is going to be a special player 5.5. Yeah, I think let me have a look. So I checked this. Oh no, how is it spelled? Is this him? Oh, no, that's not him. I can't remember where he was now. But yeah, I think his assist and goal threat is pretty decent. So 5.5 could be an option. I did have a look at his underlying numbers from somewhere. I saw him somewhere. I can't remember where though. Oh Jesus Christ! This points total thing is doing my head in. I'll just take it off. You said we could watch the match over in Ireland. When are you Irish? Well, guess what? You don't have to be Irish to live in Ireland. Fernandes to Salah have money in the bank. I mean, Salah's the best captaincy option for me this week, so go for it. So funny how no one's looking at the mighty Gunners. I mean, I keep saying Arsenal is good fixtures to target. I know City only scored 1 goal, but again, another non-clean sheet. Aubameyang has just been awful, really, this season. City assets look like differentials. They're huge differentials. I think I saw a tweet from the FPL account that said none of them, or was it from Scout? None of them in yesterday's match that started were over 10%. Is James Rodriguez a better option than Havertz? That's a tough one because obviously Havertz did pretty well. I think so for now. He's a bit cheaper, isn't he? I think fixtures are pretty good. Am I Irish? No. Do I live in Northern Ireland? No. Salah becomes a better option now that Liverpool probably not getting as many clean sheets and we need to score a lot of goals. And you got Thiago. I mean, Everton were very lucky, right? Pickford 100% should have been sent off. Absolutely awful challenge. No way he should have been on the pitch. Then it's down to 10 men. It's a different game. So, yeah, I mean, it was 2-2. Fair play to Everton for getting back into it. But, I mean, there's going to be easier fixtures for Liverpool going forward. And so, yeah, Salah. I mean, with or without Van Dijk, Salah's a great option. Really thought Brewster would bag and start and bag a few. Yeah, I think the thing with Brewster, I thought he might start as well. I know people saying, well, he's new. It was always obvious he was never going to start. But do you know what I mean? They need some points. And the record signing could have thrown him straight in. I really hope that people are not planning on starting Brewster week in, week out because the fixtures are awful now. Kane in for Jimenez or more pay for the next 3 fixtures. Probably Jimenez, but wait for tomorrow and see. I mean, Morpay's got West Brom, Burnley at home plus Spurs away. Spurs get away is a little bit trickier. I would wait and see what Wolves look like tomorrow because a lot of people, myself included, have been saying we think Wolves not looking great in attack. Let's see tomorrow. That's a pretty good game to be doing it. How's the gym been going? Gyms are still open. Yeah, I haven't been at all this week. I've had a problem with my back, which I think is fixed. Hopefully fixed now. It's been like spasming, like every time I try and basically I've not been able to sleep much this week. So hopefully that'll be alright for tomorrow or Tuesday, and I'll get back. It's been going alright. Is your Mrs. Irish? Yes. Is she still playing FPL? No. She won her work league last year. She couldn't take the stress again. She tried making a team this year, and then she found it too difficult to find cheap players. She put in all the players she wanted, and then she's like, right, I just can't bother with this. Mane is 0.4 million cheaper than Salah. He looked really good again. I still go Salah though, I think. People in the chat get stupider every week. I include myself in that. Why? Yeah, look, I'll talk about Kane versus Salah in the captaincy video, but for me, what it's going to come down to is they've both got pretty good fixtures. Me being out does kind of maybe swing things a little bit in Spurs' favour, but Sheffield United have not been great. I don't think they're as good defensively as everyone kind of thought they were from last year. Like Ramsdale is just not Dean Henderson. And Salah's a midfielder. They're both on penalties. Salah's a midfielder. That's what it's going to come down to for me this week. My next few captains are probably going to be Salah, Kane. Salah, Kane or Antonio. And then in game week 9, probably Salah again. Who have City got? They got Spurs, haven't they? Yeah, probably Salah in game week 9. Maybe a Man United player. Maybe I'll figure out I can get a Man United player in. But it's going to take a lot for me to bring in and captain a Man United player, you know? TA to Robertson, worth using a free transfer. Honestly, unless you've got 2 free transfers, I would just hold it. Like, I just don't think it's worth... I don't think it's worth a transfer to do Trent to Robertson personally. If you need the money for another transfer, then maybe. But just to do that for one transfer, I just don't get it. I wouldn't do it. Jimenez out if he doesn't produce tomorrow. I think I wouldn't worry about whether he scores FPL points, although obviously you do want FPL points. I'd be more worried if he how he performs in general, right? Does he look like he's going to get something? Because it's Newcastle at home after that. That's a pretty good fixture. Why did I keep Trent? Because I wanted Trent. Like, you've asked that question a million times. I wanted Trent, job done. Didn't realise Van Dijk was going to get injured. Could have had Robertson instead, yeah, but I kept the main man for now. Vardy out. Vardy would be out for me, I think, yeah. Yeah, just don't like the fixture. I think there's better options. Why are there so many price rises during the week? What a ridiculous thing to say. What was I saying then? I've lost that question now. Do I think it's worth keeping Greenwood? I just don't think Greenwood's a good option, personally. Do I play Sky Fantasy Football? I don't. I tried to. Basically, last year I tried to play it and I didn't get my account unlocked in time. And then this year I remembered a couple of days earlier, but they still didn't unlock it for me in time. So I missed the first week, so I couldn't bother to play it. Maybe next year. The problem is there's a bit more planning in Sky, and I'm very lazy. At least with Fantasy, it's like FPL related. What chips have I used? Just Wildcard. We'll go for a few more minutes. See if there's anything else. FPL Fozzie's gone, by the way. James and Lamptey for Basuma and Trent next game week. Already have Calvert-Lewin, hence sceptical on doubling. Is that James, is it? I don't think there's an issue doubling on Everton. Calvert-Lewin, good option. James Rodriguez, good option. Have both, good options, you know? You captain Werner, very nicely done. Huge score. Thoughts on Barkley? I mean, he looks like a potential good option for the price. I'll be completely honest, I've not seen today's game. Like it was on pay-per-view, so I'll check the highlights out probably after this or tomorrow or something. For the price, I'm trying to think who might be a better option in midfield. Like Podence, but I think we're all worried now, or a lot of Podence owners seem to be worried that he might not start. Maybe Rafinha when he gets into the Leeds team. So I think Barkley probably with the fixtures and the price is probably the best option around that price, but I don't know, let's see. Do I think it's worth having Mitrovic in? I think if I had him, I would consider I would consider keeping him for the next couple. It depends whether you've got a transfer in mind. You've got other transfers that are more important. But the next 2 fixtures are okay. You could just keep him for those 2. All I think sometimes is if he scores that penalty, like no one will be thinking to get rid of him. They'll be like, oh, he's got some points now. He's got 2 good fixtures. Job done. So a lot of it comes down to that missed penalty. Do I think Villa will finish top 4? Not a chance. I'm not getting. I'm not getting annoyed at people answering questions. I'm getting annoyed at people asking stupid questions like, "If you're not racist, answer this." Like that's just ridiculous. Worth putting in Aguero. I mean, why not? If you think he's going to do well, the fact they've not got Jesus, he's going to have to keep playing. The problem is, I guess he's probably going to be like a 60 to 70 minute man because they're going to. That's what happened last year when Aguero got injured towards the end. Jesus kind of played around 60 to 70 a lot. So obviously they can't afford to. They can't afford to get him injured again. Okay, let's look at this big transfer. You sent over 100 messages. I haven't read a single one. There you go. I've just read that one. Maxwell, would you transfer Fernandes, Foden and Davis for Kane, Grealish and Jorginho? Kane, Grealish. I mean, that does sound quite nice. If that's for a 4-point hit, I do quite like that. I don't know about Jorginho, though. I'd be tempted to go a bit cheaper just to have a bit of extra money. The slow-mo is on, by the way. I think. Let me see. Yeah, slow-mo is on. 90 seconds. It's just like nearly 3,000 people watching. That's it. Seems very bored and angry during every Q&A. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I feel like I'm answering questions and talking about FPL in the same way that I do every single game week. So I'm not really sure what I'm doing differently today, to be honest. When I am hungover, but I'm hungover most Sundays, so I've been hungover for the last like however many knee-jerk streams there have been. I've been hungover for all of them this season. When am I going to give up on Trent? When I need the money and when I've seen him a few games without Van Dijk. Why am I avoiding Man United assets? They keep giving bad performances but are delivering points. That's the key thing, though. If they keep giving bad performances, at some point the points will dry up. And the fixtures aren't good either. So I've got absolutely no... I've got no interest in them at all. Maybe sing throughout instead of speak. That would definitely turn more people off than not. Just off a wildcard, should I go Sterling or pay to Kane and Grealish? Oh, I so need... I just don't think so. I think... It's really hard, right? Because anyone that doesn't have Kane or Son, that's all that's going to be on their mind, right? But in your case, you're getting rid of Sterling versus West Ham away. Just shipped 3 to Spurs. And, like, I would say Man City are probably still in a better position to score more. De Bruyne could be back. We'll have to wait and see. And Morpé's got West Brom at home. Kane's got Burnley away. Grealish's got Leeds at home. Zaha's got, Fulham away? And you're just off a wildcard, so that's going to be for a hit, I assume. I'd be tempted just to stick with Sterling and Morpé and just go without Kane for one more week. I know, though, it's so hard to not have him. But yeah, we'll see. Cheers, Glasto. You're way too popular now. Yeah, I mean, like, I've spoken about this a few times. Like, what... And obviously, some people just don't like the fact it's... don't like the fact it's like so busy in it, but what can I do about it? Like, I can't just stop people watching. I don't want to stop people watching. You've gone top of the Fantasy Football Scout Mods and Cons League. Excellent. I don't know if I've ever been top. I've been close a few times. The problem is it's going to all be downhill now. The pressure's going to be on. Robin, thanks very much. Appreciate it. Dudes. Worth using De Bruyne money to get Mane. Got Salah already until De Bruyne's fit. I do like the idea of going double Liverpool attack, especially for the next couple of fixtures. I think at this point, I said this earlier, for anyone that hasn't already got rid of De Bruyne, I'd probably just keep him and wait and see if he's fit. I hate Spurs that refuse to have Son. Fair enough. Double up on Liverpool, I think, could be good. Big differential, good fixtures. Mane looked good as well. But I would just hold out for De Bruyne news. What do you think of De Bruyne? Okay, Seamus. De Bruyne to Mane, same question. Of Reece James to Cresswell from -4. Any better options you think of instead of Cresswell? I don't even know how much Cresswell is. Isn't he like near 5? Or did he get a price drop to 4.5? Not even checked. Oh, he's 4.9. Yeah, he must have dropped in price. Yeah, I mean, I think around for 4.9 or lower, you're either going for a Villa defender, a Leeds defender, or a Brighton defender. So it depends who else you've got. I think they're probably the 3 best. I think a lot of people have got Martinez in goals, so Leeds or Brighton defender. I would probably go for a Leeds defender over Lamptey, I think, but Lamptey's next fixture is obviously really good. Those 2 rotate really well, by the way. So if you've already got one of Brighton or Leeds, and you don't need to play them every week, they do rotate really nicely. So I think that's the kind of teams you're probably looking at. But again, same thing with De Bruyne to Mane. I'd maybe just think about waiting. You drink a lot. What's your cholesterol and triglycerides level? I got no idea. I don't know if I drink a lot. I drink a lot on Saturday, but I don't drink at all during the week. How's weekend league going? Not great. I think I'm like 5 wins, 6 losses, or something like that. I mean, you've seen my team; it's pretty rubbish. I just don't know where. I need to do a FIFA stream. I wish my internet was better. I don't know where to go with my team. I don't know where to build it. I've got 55k coins, and I've still got like some of the Premier League players I use for the objective, like Rodrigo and Didi. I packed untradeable Fred, Man United. I need a good defence, but with high pace. But they're all so expensive. Like the defence I've got right now is pretty good. Well, it's pretty good pace, but they're poor defenders. But it does me all right. I've beaten some Cristiano Ronaldo icon teams with it. What county am I from? I live in Galway, but I'm not from Ireland. Am I thinking about putting FIFA content on your other channel? I would. If I had better internet, I'd be streaming it. Like, I don't want to get into the fibre conversation again. But if it ever happens, I'll stream FIFA for sure. I'm enjoying it this year because last year, because I worked there, I got like a free icon. I basically had... Who did I get? Hullet, I think. Did I get Hullet? Well, I think I got Hullet plus... I basically had as many... basically, I had the full decent Premier League team like from day one. So it's actually not... That sounds good, but it's not as fun as you think. I'm actually quite liking starting from the bottom. Doing the objectives. I've done Jota. I've done the James Rodriguez one. Not that was an objective. Anyway, forget FIFA for a sec. Can you live stream measuring your triglyceride level, please? Maybe at some point. I won't. I appreciate the offer of going into a group chat. I'm not good with group chats. I'll tell you now, even ones with my friends, the first thing I do is mute them. I'm really bad for like OCD when it comes to like if I'm in a Twitter group and I mute it, it still shows me a notification that someone said something, even if it doesn't pop up, and it does my head in. So that's why I leave them all for everyone. I do appreciate it. Anyway, Pro Even. Let's not talk about that rubbish. Okay, a few more questions. Let's see if there's anything we haven't already answered. Is Bruno Fernandes a must? No one's a must. No one's a must just yet. I mean, think about how many people were thinking about getting rid of him after that penalty miss. Then look what he does. Cheap striker strategy out of the window now. No, not completely, but for right now, maybe, yeah. For right now, I've got Kane into the cheap striker. I did say that, didn't I? I was going to go for like cheap strikers strategy, and now I've got Harry Kane in my team, but the most expensive forward in the game. But that, who knows? At some point, I might go to Antonio and go Grealish to Sterling, but we'll see. I did wildcard, yeah. Okay, I think we're going to leave it there. I think a lot of the questions are going through the same now. How do you make peace with the fact you can't have everyone? You just have to get over it at some point. I don't really know. I just know I can't have them all, so I just don't worry about it too much. How's the fibre? The fibre. I still have someone chasing it, but I'm not confident at all. Open air. I tell you now, anyone works for open air, that wants to, like, there's a backstory to the whole thing of why I should have it, but I don't. Why there's a house 15 seconds away from me that has it, and I don't have it. It's in the same estate. Literally, walk around the corner, 15 seconds, they have fibre. If any of you work for Open Air in Ireland, or if anybody knows someone who works for Open Air, please do get in touch with me and let me know. Because I would love to give you the story about why I should have it, and I don't. Is FPL content like FIFA content where your views plummet in the air? Yeah, it steadily goes down. It is what it is, though. Like, if you're just worried about views, probably don't start a channel. Oh, something I haven't done. Big shout out to the patrons, by the way. So for anyone that hasn't signed up, make sure to check the link in the description below. Patreon.com/letstalkfpl. I've not changed the banner at the top. Look at that. Game week ranked 2,446,000. Whatever. There'll be Q&A on Tuesday, Slack access, WhatsApp access, all that good stuff as well. So go and check it out. There's different tiers that give you different kinds of stuff. This is everyone that signed up to Patreon, so thanks very much. A big shout out to Dinko, Don C, and Ina B. Apologies if I've screwed the name up. Who have all signed up since the last stream. So if you want to check it out, join in, become a Let's Talk FPL member. Hit that link in the description below. Victor, thanks very much. Is the port full? No, it's nothing to do with that. I got fibre and I'm out in Spittle. Yeah, but that's because you're so remote. I'm like nearly remote, but not quite remote enough. But there's literally people in my bloody estate that have got it. But Spittle, yeah, fair enough. You spelled Spittle wrong, haven't you? No, I think you spelled it right. Is the port full? No, it's nothing to do with that. It's I'm not going to get into it now, but yeah, basically 22 houses in my estate have it and I don't. Do I use Instagram? I have Instagram. I keep forgetting to use it. I would love to have gone on Instagram after the Kane goals today. Am I making a UEFA Champions League fantasy? I'm going to be playing that on Fan Team, actually. You feel like you can answer half of these questions? Start a stream. Job done. Or just answer them in the chat. Look, trust me, money is not the issue with me having fibre. I would pay double, triple, quadruple what I pay now for internet to get fibre. Galway in the house. Yeah, hit that like button if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe if you're new around here as well. I'm going to shoot off now. Thanks very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, what's left of it. Back tomorrow with a watch list video. Who's going to be on the watch list? I've already got Kane and Son now. I don't know who to go for. So yeah, anyway, we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you soon. Thanks for joining me tonight.